Oh, my word.
So while we've been playing around with the inside of this Ford, we sprung a leak on the engine. So we're gonna make our own gaskets, and my town flooded over the weekend. So stick around to the very end of the video to see a little bit of that. And we're gonna hopefully fix the leaks and adjust the valves today. Now that we can give this a closer look, you can see that all this adapter does is take the space of the oil filter, canister oil filter, the original. Basically the same thing, it's just flat and puts threads for the spin-on type in a new sealing surface. But this gasket that we've got here, if you look at it closely, you can see that it's also a homemade gasket, which means this whole situation has been delved into before, so I wonder if this leaky problem that it has is an issue that it's had for a while. But what I did notice is with this RTV that they use, which you really don't necessarily need to do if you're already having a cork gasket, is that this RTV is baked in a few spots. It's hard as a rock in a few spots, which tells me this is the wrong kind of RTV to use when touching the engine block. So we need to use some high heat RTV. So there are a few simple short ways you can make gaskets, and this is not by all means a how-to video. This is just, figured I'd take you along for the ride. But it's pretty simple and easy, really. Draw a circle and cut it out. That's all there really is to it. That will be our gasket here shortly. And then we'll have to cut out the inside. We'll cut like just a little bit of a flange. No thicker than what the old one was. Maybe a little bit skinnier because that one was pretty stout, but we don't need that much, but just enough. And we're gonna cut on the inside of this black line so it rests on the inside of the plate here. While it is not perfect, it does fit on here quite nicely. So we'll see if this will work. We'll go ahead and throw this back on and put the filter back on. Now we can finally see what's hiding underneath the valve cover. With how dark that oil was just from the past 5 miles of running it after its oil change, I'm really curious to see what it's gonna look like under there. And then we can do our valve adjustment and figure out what we've got going on for that valve cover. So comment down below what you think it's gonna look like underneath the valve cover.
Oh, this is really on there. Go. What are we still stuck on? The gasket. Oh, my word.
If you had thought that the valve train was going to be completely covered in just grime from probably 2 decades, then you are absolutely 100%, even more than 100% correct, because this is what I found. Look at that. Absolutely covered in grime. That is a lot of buildup. Holy cow. I've seen some gooey engines, and this one's definitely pretty gooey. Makes me wonder if something's plugged that's making this valve train clatter and it's not out of adjustment. Here's a closer look at what we've got going on here. I mean, that's got to be over some decades. I mean, this thing's definitely had to have skipped an oil change at some point. Look at that. So the valves that are kind of chattery is these guys up here. So I'm hoping that they're just out of adjustment. And like I said, nothing like any of these oil tubes are plugged with all of this, but we are definitely going to have to run some engine flush through this thing, and hopefully that cleans some of this up and unplugs anything that could be plugged. But check out what was on the other side of the valve cover. Look at that. You can almost see like the years of buildup right there. And it's all flaking off. Wow. So while that valve cover sits in some degreaser, we're going to check the valve lash on this engine. Right now, cylinder 1's intake and exhaust valves are sounding like an angry sewing machine. And I'm sure there's other valves within this valve train that are sounding quite suboptimal right now. So we're gonna check that lash, see what that is. We're supposed to be at 0.019, both intake and exhaust. And that number does not change where it's cold or at operating temperature. You are supposed to check your valves at operating temperature, so we might fire this thing up with the valve cover off to see what's going on with these little oil tubes, make sure none of those, that we're getting good amount of oil to our valve train up here. And then you get to see the valve train in action, which is actually pretty fun to see. So we'll go ahead and give that a look-see. But with how grimy this whole valve train is, I don't think the valves have been adjusted or checked in several decades. So I'm gonna say 20 years. Why not? Because that's pretty grimy. So while this thing is warming up, I wanted to take a moment to show you where the oil is coming from on these rockers. If you look real closely, you can see oil coming out of this passage right here, this passage right here. That is being supplied by these tubes right here, both of those. Each one of these rockers has one of those holes to lubricate where the rocker touches the valve. On the back side here, these push rod tubes are hollow. You can really see these ones squirt now. But those ones are hollow and allow oil to come up and lubricate the adjustment screw on the back side of the rocker. But not only is the oil lubricating those sections, front and back, it's also lubricating the shaft in the center where the rocker actually teeters. So I think we've got this thing warmed up enough. I can feel the heat radiating off of it, and we've got quite the mess back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off, and we can check to see what our valve lash is. So right now, we're on cylinder number 1. We've got it at top dead center. You can base that off of the distributor cap. But right now, both of these valves are closed. Hear that? That's our lash right there on the ends. This feeler gauge right here is set to 0.019 inches, or 0.483 millimeter. And what we're gonna do with it is we're gonna put our wrench on the end of our adjusting screw and just slide this in. And see, we've got some pretty decent resistance there. That's not bad. And we got about the same resistance on that one as well. So I'm going to go to each one of these. So our next set is going to be number 5. And right now, like I said, we're sitting at 0.019 of an inch. So we'll see how far off we are as we go down the list here. So we've got this all adjusted now. Everything is within 0.019 of an inch. The ones in the middle, so cylinders 2, 3, 4, and 5, kinda were the loosest out of all 6 cylinders. Cylinder number 6's intake, or exhaust, excuse me, was a little bit tight, and the intake on cylinder 1 was just a little bit loose. But let's go ahead and fire it up and see how it sounds. Wow. That is a big improvement. That, I love that. I love it when you do something like this and it just all does what it's supposed to do, and it just sounds so much nicer now in comparison to what we had before. Wow. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this. That's pretty good. Let's shut this off before we make an even bigger mess. So I'm impressed with how this all turned out. We went from having an engine just sounding like it was gonna come off the rails to an engine that's actually purring really well now. I mean, just check this out. You wouldn't even know there's an engine in there. I'm kidding. But it is so much better than it was before, and when I first picked this truck up, that was one of my concerns. The really chattery engine. I was like, oh, I don't know. But I went and took a limb on it and was like, it just probably needs a valve adjustment, and that's exactly what it needed. So we were able to do that valve adjustment. We were able to get the leaks fixed on the engine, which was a super big plus, which makes us just a step closer to this thing not only being ready for a car show here in a little bit, but also being a pretty reliable rig that we can use to go out and revive other cars. And now for the tease that I did at the beginning of the video. My town flooded over the weekend. It happens once every 6 years. And this time was not as bad as 2020, but it was still pretty decent. And I got to put the old 64 Chevy C10 to use. So here is that right now. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for stopping by the garage today and for hanging around and seeing everything that we did on the old truck and that flood stuff. So if you like what you saw here throughout this video, go and check out the rest of the channel. There is all kinds of good stuff. There's more videos on this Ford if you're a Ford lover. If you came here from the Chevy and watched this Ford video, there's more videos on the Chevy as well. And there's other things. There's all kinds of fun stuff here, and we're only getting started. So leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. What should be our next thing that we do to this Ford? Because I have a thought process on where we're going next, and honestly, I can't wait to share it with you. I'm almost gonna spill the beans. So anyway, I will see you right back here at the garage in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's 100% free. Turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.